Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, JI Colorist. My name is Jody and today I am going to celebrate Neon November. So this is late in the month and I hope that's okay. But I actually have recently received some neon paint that I have never had before, and I wanted to actually go ahead and paint with them, and I thought I would do that in my Shooting Star book by Maria Trolle. And so the Meeden paints that I'm going to be using are from the fluorescent. They're the 6 fluorescent ones, and I thought that they kind of would go well on this page. So this isn't a very big page, but this has flowers that I thought could be nice bright neon colors, and then the background would be dark. So I'm just going to do a little bit of painting and see how that works. I may just paint and show you what I'm doing, but I may do a voiceover, so I will maybe zoom you in a little bit so you can see the image a little clearer. So I'm imagining that these would be fluorescent and kind of glowing, and I thought that that would kind of be cool. I don't know what flowers they are, but they kind of look like fuchsia pods to me, so those are the colors I'm thinking. And it's kind of a dreamy page, so yeah. So if you're interested in that, stick around and I will do a voiceover, and hope you like it, and I hope the page turns out. I think neons are a fun color, and I don't ever use them really in my coloring, so I thought this would be a fun challenge since it was Neon November. Okay, let's get started. The other supplies I will be using for this, besides the 96 Meeden watercolor palette, is just a couple of round watercolor brushes. I've got a number 8 and a number 2, and I just thought I might, not sure which size I'm going to need, but I thought small paint brushes. I have not done anything to the paper ahead of time, so there's no watercolor ground on here or anything, and I do need to be conscious that this is not watercolor paper, so I will try not to oversaturate it. Plus I already have completed the page on the other side, and I did use watercolor on that, so that's another reason I don't want to get the paper to get too saturated. Now these paints wet pretty well, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the smallest brush, and I'm going to use the fluorescent pink. I'm going to put a bamboo cloth down to rest my hand on. That is so bright. Such a fun color. That's about as much as I want on there. So I'm going to actually also bring in a little bit of the purple. I'm going to just put some on my palette and just drop some of that in at the top and let it mix itself in. And if it doesn't mix, then I'll do it with my paintbrush, because yeah, it's not really running too much. So I'm just gonna, with a clean paintbrush, just there, draw it down a little bit. Start with the purple one next. So this is Future Jody editing, and I just want to say thank you to all those people who commented on my November completed pages video that you did want to see this neon page come together. So this is for you, and I really appreciated the feedback, and I hope you enjoy this video. Let me know in the comments below if you did a Neon November page, and if you would use neons in the future months too. Let me know. Very pretty. Kind of would like to have a bit of a magical garden feel with this. Once I let this dry, I may come back in with a second coat, but I don't usually do a second coat. So now this is the two colors mixed together. So I've just mixed the two colors together on my palette. I am not a watercolor expert. This is just me playing with my supplies in my coloring books. This one's really bright and fun. So this is the number 2 paintbrush I've been using. I'm going to bring in some of the green. We've got some fluorescent green and see how that, I might try it on some of the leaves. Okay, so just had to adjust the location of my camera since this is the left side of the book and it's hitting the camera, so hopefully we're not having a lot of wobbling. This is definitely not going to be my most realistic picture, but that's kind of fun every once in a while. I must say, as I'm editing this video and watching the colors come up on the screen, I really do love this green in the pink combination. I didn't think I would, but I think it really works well for the page, and I hope you like it. I think I want to do the leaf here and here and here a little bit more toned down. So I think I'm going to, in the pastel area over here, they have a light green, and this is the fluorescent green I've been using. So maybe I will try that one. Start here. That's still pretty bright, but not quite as shocking as the neon. Background, it's going to be a dark background, and I haven't decided how I'm going to do that, so maybe I'll use some acrylic paint, or I have some like a Pitt Pen or something like that. But the star of the show I want to be is the neon pumping off the page, if that makes sense. It seems to be I keep seeing moths in books lately, and I'm not sure what the deal is. I'm not a fan of moths, so I guess I don't see the appeal. But here we have another moth. Comment below if you like to color moths. I don't know what the deal is, but they seem to be in a lot of coloring books the last couple of years. I'll go ahead and do this next one off screen. And again, this is the pastel green color, but really, I don't like, it's in the pastel section, but this this lime green does not look to be pastel to me. So their fluorescents are definitely fluorescent. Okay, so this was the first one we did. I'm going to come back in with a little bit of the mixed purple and pink. Just going to deepen up that shadow area and do a better blend, and same here. Doesn't have to be perfect, because watercolor is by nature unpredictable. So those are my neon colored things. I also have some, okay, so I have these Black Edition Faber-Castell neon and pastel pencil set, and I haven't had a lot of luck using them So somebody suggested that I keep trying them. I maybe sharpen them a little bit more because maybe there was a coating on the end of them. So I have sharpened this, and I'm just going to, I've got you zoomed in, and I'm going to do the stars. And yeah, they just don't seem to lay down a lot of pigment. Somebody also suggested, a few people suggested that I try using them on black paper, so I will do that. Oops, and this is actually breaking, so I'll just be careful. So there's some pigment there, but it's I will go ahead and do the other stars as well, and then we'll see how that turns out. I also will try, they have a neon orange. I'll try that one. So I'm going to try the neon orange, and I'll sharpen that. They're a triangular pencil, which is also something I'm not used to. So I'm going to do all of the circles. Comment below if you've colored with these neon pencils before and what you think of the pigment payout. Yeah, they're just not very pigmented. They're definitely very, very hard pencil. Okay, maybe they will stand out more once I have the black background on there. Okay, let me finish off the rest of these dots and stars on the page, and I'll be right back. Okay, while the rest of the paint is drying, this area is quite dry here, so I'm bringing in a Languo 0.6 gel pen, and I'm just going over the black lines on this leaf and adding the center vein in. Now I should probably be doing all of this after I've completed the background, so I'm not only going to do this one leaf here for demonstration purposes, but I just want to show you what the leaf is going to look like. So I'm just going over the black illustration lines, and hopefully you can see, and then plus the center vein. So your gel pens should be always your last, but I kind of like always to finish an area on my page, and that's not recommended. You should do all of this at the end. So more of a learn from my mistakes, not from my how I do things. But when filming a video, it's sometimes difficult to get everything down that I want to show you. Okay, so that's how that is going to look, and I'll continue on and do the rest of the leaf, but I wanted to show you at least that part. Okay, you're all zoomed out, and I just thought I'd show you how the page is looking. I'm going to go ahead now and do the background. I have selected a Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen in Dark Indigo 157. This one also has the soft brush, so it's more flexible, and I thought that would be nice to get into all these little spots. Now, the other reason why I'm choosing a Pitt pen is because I'm not going to have to add water to this. I don't want more water items on here. I don't want them to accidentally run into my watercolors. So if you also wanted to do something, you could have done the background ahead of time with like a crayon, because then that would have resisted any bleed out on there. So I will be using some Neocolor ones in another video, and then doing a watercolor background to show you how the resist works. But for today, we are going to use the soft brush Pitt Artist Pen, again in Dark Indigo, and I will show you a little bit of that, but it's just plain coloring, so I won't bore you too much with that, but I will zoom you down and show you just a little bit. If you've never tried a soft brush Pitt pen before, you can buy them open stock. I would suggest just purchasing one and seeing if you like the extra flexible nib. So that's as easy as that, and it gets into the really tight areas, and then you can push down further and you can get a larger stroke. because it is a soft brush. So not quite like a paintbrush, but definitely more flexible than the other one. I'm not too worried about some streaking because I can come in with some dots for extra stars and stuff like that. But I am trying to follow kind of the lines of the, I am trying to follow, so these lines go like this. I will do my, follow those lines. The soft brush Pitt pens do glide nicely on this paper, and I was happy to use it here. Okay, so that's how I am going to do the background. I'll finish that off and we'll continue on. Okay, I have finished doing one coat of the Pitt Artist Pen in Dark Indigo 157. I'm letting that dry. It won't have soaked through, which is awesome, but I also have the polychromos in the same color, which is Dark Indigo 157, and in order to smooth out some of the streakiness, I will come in and do a layer of pencil on top, but at least I've got a base layer already down in the same color, so that'll make things go faster. Just to point out, the orange and the yellow fluorescent Faber-Castell Black Edition, I still don't think that they show up very bright, so I am going to come back and do a second coat of those pencils to see if that will help, and so maybe I'll do that right now on screen and see if another coat will help. Yeah, I don't think so. So I definitely will have to try these pencils on another surface, because maybe it's just not the right, because yeah, they're just not very bright. So let me grab some, I have some neon Prisma Color pencils. Let's grab those. Okay, so I have some old Prismacolors. These were from Sanford, and this one is super old. So this is the neon green, which is PC 1039. So I'm not even sure if there are still these colors anymore. And then there's the PC 1038. Whoops, let me sharpen that one. Okay, let's try that again. This is the neon rose, neon pink, PC 1038. And that's nice. And then this is the orange, PC 1036. And I didn't have the yellow, but this was an Artex one that I just grabbed, and it's the Hansa Yellow Light. And I thought that was pretty bright for yellow. So those are those colors, and just do the corresponding ones beside it. So this is the Faber-Castell. These pencils are quite hard in lead, so I was surprised that I had some breakage on two of the pencils. So there's just the difference. So I definitely think that this is a lot brighter, so I am going to come in with the orange. And okay, so I'm going to use the orange, and I've sharpened it. I'm just going to go over top of the orange and see if I can get that to be a little bit brighter. Okay, so I'll finish that, and I'm also going to come in with the green. I'll also come in with the green fluorescent and do some of these squiggly leaves that are there. Do a first base of this, and then I can shade. So the whole page will be different neon, and then I'm going to try and bring some sparkle to be coming from the these flower pods. So we'll do one of these together, and then I will go off and do the rest. I am doing some medium to heavy pressure here, so I can get good coverage. Nice, good, solid pressure, and then I will come in and do some shading. So let me grab another color for the shading. Okay, to do a little bit of shading, I'm going to bring in another Prismacolor, and it's Parrot Green, which is PC1006, and I'll just put some down, and then this is the neon green, just to show you that how they blend together. So there's neon green on either side, so I'm going to use that underneath areas where there would be a little bit of shadow, and then blend it in. And I used another Prismacolor so that they're both waxy, and hopefully they will smush and blend nicely. I don't use my Prismacolor pencils very much at all, so just going to go back and forth, blend it like that. Having a little bit of problems with because this is the left hand side of the page, trying to get to you in frame. So let me put a little bit. So this is the, and I can also do a little bit of the tip. This page did give me the opportunity to pull out my Prisma pencils, which I rarely ever use. So the fact that they had specific neon pencils in the set was both an advantage and fun, and it did get me using these pencils, so I was happy about that. Zoom you in a bit. Let's do this area here. So I'm going to lightly do this whole bottom area, and then on the other side, and then a little bit at the tip, and then come back in with the neon. Certainly not realistic colors, but they are kind of fun, and it's nice to try something new. You'll have to let me know if you've been coloring with your neon pencils more in the month of November here. So again, I'll do that a little bit darker, and then fade down, and a little bit darker and fade up. I must say I do really like this Parrot Green. It's a beautiful color all on its own, and it did blend really well. So on the background I still have not come in yet with the pencil, so the background is not done. I just thought I'd get this part finished first. Okay, that's how that is going to look. I'll zoom you back out. Let me finish off. I'm going to grab the Lango gel pen again and finish off this area right here, and we'll get a little bit more done. Just a progress check on how we're doing. I think I'm liking this. I think it's looking nice. Not sure what you think, but the two different colors here are nice and bright, and yet adding a little bit of different from just the bright neon from the watercolors. It's kind of a nice bit of contrast, but it's still using my never used neon pencils, so that's a win, I think. So I don't want such a harsh line, so I'm just kind of lightly blending that line in afterwards. And these pencils are still, these are easily 25 plus years old, and they're still creamy, and they're holding up better than my new Prismas, so that's kind of a fun surprise. I wish I had a neon yellow, so might have to do a little bit more searching. Maybe I have one somewhere. The peacock green is a nice bright green all on its own, so I thought it would blend well with the fluorescent, and it is, so happy with that color combination. Okay, so I'll finish off all of this foliage, and I'll also finish off the Lango gel pen areas that I want to do, and then we'll come back and try and figure out a way to make these flowers glow. And also I want some glow glinting off our little girl, because I think that'll add some magical touch to this picture. And again, this is from the book Shooting Star. So in the Shooting Star, every page has a star, at least one star on it. So this one has a bunch of little tiny stars. So all right, I'll be back once the rest. I'll zoom you out so you can see how the page is right now, and I'll be back once all of the foliage is done. All right, we have finished the green leaves. I'm now going to bring in my neon pink Prismacolor, and I'm just going to, I'll zoom you in a bit, and I'm going to go over and just do a little bit of blending, and anywhere where it's a little bit light, I'm going to come in with the pencil and just brighten it up a little bit. So I can leave some areas lighter, but I'll just blend this area in a bit. And you could also bring in your neon orange as well, and I'll do that on this next one. Okay, so I've got a little bit of orange here, and just any light spots I can bring in the orange just to add a little bit of different color variation to them. Also the pink, just to blend out any So I'm not covering all the spots, just kind of making it a little bit brighter. So that's what I'm doing for the pencils. I've also brought in the Dark Indigo 157, and you'll notice how this area here looks a lot smoother than, say, this area right here. And I'll just show you what I'm doing. So I've probably need to sharpen my pencil again. So one moment. Okay, so with the sharp pencil, I'm going to color this area right here because there's some streaks. So I'm just going to basically cover the whole area, and when there's lighter spots I can go over it a couple of times. But I'm just smoothing it out a bit. And it doesn't take much. I could come back with another pass of the Pitt Pen, but I don't generally do that. So you'll have to leave a comment below. What do you do? I know some people who use ink tints do 2 and 3 coats of ink tints. So there we go. So that is how I am just smoothing that out, and that going to do that for all of the background area, just to get it exactly how I want it before I do any more gel pen. If you have a method that you use for doing backgrounds, let me know. Sometimes when I'm using a black marker and I don't want it to bleed through, I'll put down a layer of black pencil first and then do the marker, because sometimes black will, even though it won't bleed through the paper totally, it does leave some ghosting, so sometimes I'll do that. Okay, I just wanted to show you how I am smoothing out some of those streaks on the page and using the neon pencils on top of the watercolor. Okay, here is the page where we're at so far. I have completed doing the second layer of pencil on the background. So that's one layer of the Pitt Artist pen and one good layer of the Polychromos pencil. Now I am taking a Stardust Jelly Roll in the lightest pink that I have, and I'm going over top of some of these flower pods. Before I did that, I did come in with some orange and pink neon, and I just added a little bit of orange to some of them to kind of give them a different effect, kind of like they were glowing inside a little bit. So then they were also not quite so one dimension. So I think that has helped, adding that little bit of orange. And so now I am just adding some sprinkling underneath them. So I'm using the Stardust. So along with going over the large dark lines on the actual pods, I'm putting some sprinkles underneath, and I'm using a white gel pen with acrylic ink and a jelly roll. So I will just do that to this one up here, going right over top, making sure that I actually have a good amount down, and then also coming and putting a few of the white ones as well. Kind of like as if they were sprinkling fairy dust. I thought about using some clear, but I don't think that we would get them standing out on the background as much. So now I'm going to use the Jelly Roll Stardust on just the main dark veins. And it's just adding a glimmer. So I'm not trying to cover up the black lines. I'm just adding some glimmer, so then when you move the page, it sparkles a little bit. Okay, so then when I move the page, there's a little bit of glint and sparkle there. So I'll do that to the two remaining ones. And then I still have the girl to do, but I might leave you with that today, and you will see the completed page either at the end of this video, if I get enough time to edit it and put it all together and finish coloring, or you will see it in my completed pages for Neon November 2025. Thank you so much for coming along and with me as I experiment with some of my neon items that I rarely ever use. This has been fun and experimental, and I've enjoyed this, so I hope you have thought of some ideas where you can use neon in your coloring pages this month, and I hope you have lots of fun. All right, everyone, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.